Imagine rising with the sun, your mind clear, your body energized, and your spirit certain that the day ahead is not merely another to be endured, but a genuine opportunity to grow, to advance, and to finally take command of your life. Yet, how often does this ideal match reality? If you are like most, the morning begins with a struggle, a feeling of being stuck, lost, or trapped by habits that no longer serve you. The truth is, the first few moments after waking don't just start your morning. They shape the entire course of your day, your mindset, and ultimately, your destiny. The ancient Stoics understood this profoundly. As Marcus Aurelius reflected, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." Today, we explore how to apply this wisdom, forging powerful habits to master your mind and seize control of your day. If this pursuit of a more deliberate life resonates with you, consider subscribing. It is a simple, free way to support our community and help this message reach others who need it. Now, let us begin. 1. Rise early. Our relationship with the morning is often complicated. The bed feels like a warm embrace, and the snooze button whispers the sweet lie of just 5 more minutes. But the truth most won't admit is that the early hours are a crucible for transformation. Those quiet moments, before the first email arrives, before the notifications begin to chime, before the day's chaos takes hold, are a golden opportunity for clarity and control. Picture waking just 1 hour earlier. It may seem a painful sacrifice at first, but imagine that hour as a peaceful sanctuary of uninterrupted time, a personal oasis in the bustling desert of daily life. There are no distractions, no demands. There is only you and your thoughts, free to plan your day, set your intentions, or immerse yourself in reading something that anchors you in wisdom. The Stoics knew this well. Seneca once wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality," reminding us that the dread of rising early is often far worse than the act itself. It is the story we tell ourselves, that we will be tired or miserable, that holds us captive. By rising early, you shatter this illusion and prove that discipline is a form of freedom. Growth, after all, never comes from comfort. As the psychologist Carl Jung powerfully stated, "Who looks outside, dreams. Who looks inside, awakes." That extra hour is your time to look inward, awakening not just your body, but your deeper self. 2. Hydrate first. The alarm sounds. You pull yourself from bed. What is the first thing you reach for? For most, it is the magnetic pull of the coffee machine, an eager search for the caffeinated comfort we believe is necessary to feel human. While the ritual of coffee has its own magic, we often overlook a simpler truth. After hours of sleep, your body is dehydrated. Water, not caffeine, is what it truly craves. Instead of flooding your system with a stimulant, begin your day with a tall, refreshing glass of water. Think of it as hitting a reset button for your entire being, a simple ritual that sets a tone of clarity and balance. The Stoics emphasized that mastering small, everyday actions was the key to a well-lived life. As Epictetus reminds us, progress is not achieved by luck or accident, but by working on yourself daily. Drinking water first is precisely that, a subtle signal to your mind and body that you are prioritizing wellness over habit. Your brain, composed mostly of water, struggles to function when dehydrated. Attention, memory, and mood all suffer. Replenishing these fluids is a gentle yet decisive wake-up call, preparing you to face the day with clearer thought and steadier emotions. Jung once remarked, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. This simple habit turns an unconscious reaction, the sleepy stumble to the coffee pot, into a conscious, deliberate choice. It is about reclaiming control, choosing clarity over instant gratification. 3. Avoid the phone. Your morning is sacred ground, a blank canvas awaiting your first stroke. Yet many of us sabotage this potential by immediately plunging into the digital chaos of our phones. That first rush of notifications floods the mind with anxiety and distraction, hijacking the day before it has even begun. One moment you are enjoying a final remnant of peace, the next you are entangled in emails, news alerts, and the curated lives of others. Why would you surrender control of your morning clarity to an algorithm? Stoicism teaches us to guard our inner peace fiercely. You have power over your mind, not outside events, Marcus Aurelius advised. Realize this, and you will find strength. Your phone is the gateway through which countless outside events invade your mental sanctuary. By delaying that scroll, even for just 30 minutes, you reclaim the power to choose your thoughts rather than react to the digital world's demands. As Jung warned, we are not what happened to us. We are what we choose to become. Each morning presents this choice. Will you be driven by external pressures, or will you shape your day with intention? Skipping the morning scroll cultivates a stronger sense of self. You start the day knowing who is in charge. You, not your feed. When you trade the screen for a moment of quiet reflection, the day unfolds from a place of clarity, not chaos. 4. Accomplish a small win. There is a quiet power in starting your day with an act of order. Not a grand achievement, but something simple, tangible, and complete. You wake up, pull the covers tight, and straighten the sheets. In that instant, you have already accomplished something intentional. You have begun the day with structure instead of chaos. This is not mere homemaking, it is mental training. We live in a world that glorifies massive transformations while overlooking the value of small, consistent habits. The Stoics knew that greatness is not found in grand gestures, but forged in the quiet discipline of daily life. Don't waste the rest of your life worrying about what other people think, Marcus Aurelius wrote. Making your bed is the first signal you send to your brain. I am in control today. It is your first promise kept, and keeping promises to yourself builds a deep, unshakable self-respect. As Admiral William McRaven famously said, if you want to change the world, start by making your bed. Not because the act itself is revolutionary, but because it sets a tone. If you cannot get the small things right, how can you expect to manage the large ones? Psychologically, the symbolism runs even deeper. Jung believed our environment reflects our inner state. A cluttered space often mirrors inner noise and unresolved thoughts. By tidying your environment, you bring order to your mind. A made bed is not just an aesthetic. It is a declaration. I will not be ruled by disorder. I choose discipline, even in the smallest of things. 5. Awaken the body. Some mornings it feels as if the body lags a step behind the soul. Heavy limbs, a foggy head, and a distinct lack of motivation. The problem is not laziness. It is that your physical system is still dormant. The fastest way to bring body and mind into alignment is to move. This isn't about a grueling workout or chasing fitness goals. It is about one simple thing: activating your life force. Gentle, deliberate movement is your body's way of saying, I am here. I am ready. A few stretches, a short walk, or some simple yoga poses are enough to awaken the nervous system and get the blood flowing. The Stoics valued physical strength not for vanity, but for the vitality it provided. As Epictetus said, no great thing is created suddenly. This includes your energy and your sense of control. Morning movement is not a workout. It is a ritual of self-respect that echoes through your mood and focus for the rest of the day. Jung believed in the profound link between body and mind. The body is merely the visibility of the soul, he said. If your body is stiff and dormant, what is your psyche communicating? Move, and the mind will often follow. Motion disrupts stagnation. Feel anxious? Move. Feel stuck? Move. As Seneca reminded us, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Do not waste your morning waiting to feel motivated. Just move. 6. Jolt yourself into presence. There is a moment, right before you step into a cold shower, when your brain screams in protest. In that instant of resistance, a transformation begins. That hesitation is your comfort zone fighting back. Cold water is an unfiltered entry point into mental fortitude. It is not meant to feel good. That is precisely the point. The Stoics relentlessly pursued voluntary discomfort, not because they enjoyed suffering, but because they knew comfort breeds weakness. It is not death that a man should fear, wrote Marcus Aurelius, but he should fear never beginning to live. In a world designed to avoid discomfort, a cold shower is a radical declaration that you choose to live with intention and courage. Psychologically, the cold shock jolts you into the present moment. It forces you to breathe deeply and focus, overriding your instinct to flee. This is neuroplasticity in action, rewiring your brain to handle adversity with greater poise. As Jung noted, what you resist persists. By facing the cold, you begin learning to face all other discomforts, fear of failure, criticism, or uncertainty. This practice builds fortitude. Seneca trained his body and mind for adversity, knowing that strength came from the struggle. A cold shower is a modern form of this training. You step in, you breathe, and you prove to yourself that you can endure. That confidence follows you out of the bathroom and into your life. Physiologically, the benefits are immediate. Increased blood flow, a release of endorphins, and a spike in alertness that no coffee can match. Start with just 30 seconds at the end of a warm shower. It is one moment of shock, one small victory, one chance to prove to yourself, I do hard things. 7. Practice journaling. There is immense power in giving shape to your thoughts, in turning the chaos within your mind into something tangible and real. Most of us carry a constant stream of worries, ideas, and judgments in a swirling, unchecked loop. This loop steals focus, sours mood, and clouds decisions. Journaling is not an artistic trend, it is mental hygiene. A few minutes with a pen and paper can provide more clarity than hours of overthinking. The act is simple. Sit and write. Let go of rules and grammar. Just allow whatever is in your mind to pour onto the page. A lingering worry, a vivid dream, a moment of gratitude. This is not about creating beautiful prose. It is about emptying the mental clutter before the day fills it up again. The Stoics practiced this centuries ago. Marcus Aurelius kept a journal, now known as his Meditations, as a private tool to keep his principles sharp. His insights were forged through the act of writing them down. As Jung believed, our unconscious mind is constantly trying to communicate with us. Until you make the unconscious conscious, he wrote, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Journaling gives your inner world a voice, revealing hidden patterns and buried fears. It is a quiet conversation with the part of you that tells the truth. In that honesty, your perspective shifts and decisions become clearer. As Seneca advised, we should every night call ourselves to an account. Morning journaling applies that same principle, not just to review the past, but to prepare the mind for the day ahead. 8. Set clear daily goals. A strange anxiety arises not from having too much to do, but from not knowing what to do at all. You wake up motivated, but by noon, You are drifting between tasks, chasing distractions, and ending the day exhausted with little to show for it. This is not laziness, it is a lack of direction. When you fail to give your day a target, your energy scatters, captured by anything loud enough to demand your attention. This is where setting clear, immediate goals becomes essential. Not a lofty, abstract vision, but concrete objectives you can act on today. Choose just three. 3 achievable tasks that will create genuine progress, not just motion. Being busy is not the same as being productive. Unless you define what success looks like for today, you will spend your time reacting to everything that isn't important, and the day will end before you have even truly begun. The Stoics were masters of intention, especially with their time. They understood that a day without direction is a day lost, adrift through hours where clarity never magically arrives. Epictetus stated it with piercing clarity. First, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. His message was unmistakable. Define your path, or someone else will define it for you, leading you somewhere you never intended to be. This ancient wisdom finds a powerful echo in modern psychology. Carl Jung spoke of individuation, the journey of becoming a whole, directed person. He saw goals not merely as tools for achievement, but as essential instruments for self-realization. As he said, your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside, dreams. Who looks inside, awakes. When you define your goals with honesty and intent, you are not just planning a day. You are sculpting an identity. This doesn't mean your goals must be monumental. In fact, there is profound power in the small. Reply to that email you've been avoiding. Write a single page. Walk for 20 minutes. When you keep your goals simple and actionable, you grant yourself the permission to complete something, and completion is the engine of momentum. True accomplishment is not measured in size, but in finality. One finished task builds confidence. 10 half-finished projects only build frustration. Consider the fragile, receptive state of your mind upon waking. Within seconds, your brain begins scanning for input, something to react to, something to anchor its focus. And what do we so often provide? A torrent of doom-scrolling, outrage, and clickbait. Headlines that spike cortisol before you've even had breakfast. Most tragically, we barely notice it happening. We believe we are catching up, but we are actually feeding our minds with junk food and then expecting it to power us through a meaningful day. The truth is, your mind is hungry the moment you wake. It craves direction, purpose, and clarity. Just as your body performs better on clean fuel, your thoughts achieve greater heights when fed with clean content. If you feed your mind noise, you will get confusion. If you feed it substance, you will find strength. The Stoics knew this long before smartphones. They believed the first thoughts of the day should be chosen, not inherited from the world. Seneca advised, associate with people who are likely to improve you. In modern terms, this circle includes the content you consume, the books, essays, philosophies, and podcasts that act as your morning mentors. 10 pages of something that elevates, grounds, or challenges you will do more for your growth than hours of passive scrolling ever could. This isn't about becoming a rigid intellectual. It's about being intentional. It's about choosing the thoughts you want shaping your decisions, the emotions you want leading your conversations, and the values you want guiding your life. Make no mistake, you are being shaped every morning by every input. Carl Jung said, "You are what you do, not what you say you'll do." And to read, to deliberately feed your mind, is an action, not just a wish. Marcus Aurelius himself began each day not with strategy briefings or political dramas, but with inward reflection, grounded in philosophy. He knew that before he could lead an empire, he had to lead himself. And leading yourself begins with the ideas you choose to absorb. This doesn't demand a massive lifestyle shift. Start with just 10 minutes, a few pages, or a podcast that speaks truth into your ear instead of noise. Think of it as tuning an instrument before a performance, aligning your thoughts with what matters most before the world begins making its demands. Some people stumble into their day, half asleep, already reacting to whatever life throws at them. But others, those who seem calm, clear, and centered, begin differently. They take a few quiet minutes to see the day before they live it, not on a screen or in a planner, but in the theater of their own mind. They close their eyes and picture who they want to be, how they want to move, and how they want to respond, not with perfection, but with purpose. And it makes all the difference. While the practice of visualization might sound abstract, it is in fact one of the most grounded, science-backed methods for producing tangible results. When you vividly imagine yourself succeeding, your brain creates the neurological pathways needed to turn that vision into reality. You prime yourself to expect success, to notice opportunities, and to filter out distractions. This isn't magic, it's biology. Done consistently, it rewires your mindset to act in alignment with your goals, not your fears. Stoicism grasped this long before neuroscience. The Stoics practiced premeditatio malorum, a reflection on what could go wrong, not to catastrophize but to prepare. But they also contemplated who they wished to become. Epictetus advised, "Practice yourself, for heaven's sake, in little things, and then proceed to greater." Visualization is that practice. You are rehearsing strength, courage, and clarity before the test arrives. You are training your inner world so that your outer world cannot shake you so easily. Athletes like Michael Phelps used visualization daily. He would mentally rehearse his swim down to the smallest movement, so that when the moment came, his body knew what to do, because his mind had already been there. This is what makes the practice so powerful. You are not just thinking positively. You are mentally rehearsing success, building a familiarity with the version of yourself that already knows how to win. This is for you. Before that meeting, that difficult conversation, that goal that keeps slipping away. Spend 5 quiet minutes seeing the outcome you want. Feel it. Don't just picture the task. Picture how you stand, how you breathe, how you handle setbacks. Make it visceral. Make it believable. In his Meditations, Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily how he wanted to respond, not react. He visualized self-mastery before the pressure arrived. If this practice was indispensable for the most powerful man in the Roman Empire, it surely holds a profound value for us today. It is easy to forget how much you have when your attention is constantly pulled toward what is missing. We live in a world that urges us to chase more success, more recognition, and in that chase, we lose sight of what is already right in front of us. Gratitude is not a soft, sentimental notion. It is a discipline, a mental practice for anchoring yourself in reality when the world feels like it's spinning. Your brain, by default, is wired to focus on problems. It is a survival instinct. If you do not consciously direct your focus, it will drift toward what is wrong, what is lacking, what could go wrong. But when you pause, even for a moment, and bring your awareness to what is good, what is working, what is still here, everything begins to shift. Your mindset changes, your stress settles, your perspective expands. Seneca wrote, "Nothing is more honorable than a grateful heart." To the Stoics, gratitude wasn't decorative. It was armor, a tool for resilience in a chaotic world. When you choose to be grateful, especially in the face of pressure, you are reclaiming your mental sovereignty. You are proving that you don't need perfect conditions to find something worth appreciating. From a psychological lens, Carl Jung believed much of our suffering stems from a disconnection from meaning, from ourselves, and from the present moment. Gratitude is the bridge. It reconnects you to the parts of life that truly matter. As Jung said, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are, and that process often begins with the quiet realization of how much is already within and around you. Neuroscience now confirms what philosophers knew instinctively. Practicing gratitude increases dopamine and serotonin while lowering cortisol. It is not just emotional, it is biological, priming your brain to seek what is right instead of endlessly scanning for what is wrong. Even Marcus Aurelius, governing an empire and facing immense hardship, took time to reflect on his blessings. "Do not indulge in dreams of having what you have not," he wrote, "but reckon up the chief of the blessings you do possess." That mindset did not weaken him. It made him steady. It made him capable. Most people wake up and dive headfirst into their to-do list, trying to outrun the day's stress. But what if, instead of rushing, you first grounded yourself? Not with a task, but with a thought, one that has been sharpened over centuries of hardship and human experience. The wisdom of Stoicism is timeless because it works. Its beauty lies in its simplicity. It does not ask you to escape life's chaos, but to meet it with clarity, discipline, and strength. Often, a single sentence is all it takes. One line from Marcus Aurelius or Epictetus, held in your mind like a compass, can keep you steady when the world begins to spin. The Stoics knew that our thoughts are not fleeting noise. They are the very dye that colors the soul. Reflecting on their wisdom each morning helps you choose those colors deliberately. You are not just reacting to life, you are preparing for it. It is like donning emotional armor. By beginning the day with a single Stoic idea, you set your psychological tone, deciding in advance how you will respond to setbacks, interruptions, or uncertainty. Instead of flinching, you move with intention. Instead of spinning, you return to your center. This is what Epictetus meant when he said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Psychology affirms this need for inner examination. Carl Jung warned that without conscious reflection, we allow our unconscious mind to steer our lives, often toward outcomes we never intended. Morning reflection is therefore not just philosophical, it is psychological self-defense. You don't need hours, a journal, or a meditation cushion. Just pick a quote, one sentence that speaks to you. Sit with it. Ask what it truly means, not in the abstract, but in your life, right now. How does it apply to the meeting you're nervous about, or the challenge you've been avoiding? Stoicism was never meant to remain in books. It is meant to live in your decisions. The more you practice this, the more grounded you become. You begin to notice when your mind wants to spiral, when your ego wants to lash out, when your fears want to run the show. And in those moments, the line you started the day with becomes a quiet force, guiding you back to yourself. There is a kind of exhaustion that has nothing to do with sleep. It is the weight that builds when life is lived entirely indoors, beneath fluorescent lights and behind screens. It is the state of a mind overstimulated and a body underwhelmed. We are constantly plugged in, constantly reacting, and slowly, without noticing, we become disconnected from the world, from our bodies, from ourselves. Sometimes the most profound solution is not more productivity, but simply stepping outside. It sounds almost too basic to matter, but a few minutes breathing fresh air, feeling the ground under your feet, letting sunlight or even rain touch your skin can shift your entire mental state. This is not about escaping a room. It's about reconnecting with something ancient and essential. Before we had cities and algorithms, we had seasons, wind, and soil. We are still wired for that world, even if we no longer live in it. The Stoics, for all their intellect, never saw themselves as separate from nature. Their philosophy was based on aligning with it. To them, nature was not a backdrop. It was a teacher, a reminder that everything changes, everything flows, and everything is connected. Carl Jung held a similar view, believing modern humanity suffers from a deep disconnection from the natural world. He said, "Natural life is the nourishing soil of the soul. When we lose contact with that soil, we begin to feel ungrounded and anxious. It is no coincidence that a short walk in the woods can calm you more than hours of overthinking ever could. You don't need a weekend retreat. Start by stepping outside for 5 minutes. Feel the air, notice the sky, listen to the stillness. Let nature remind you of what exists outside the curated chaos of your schedule. As the philosopher Heraclitus said, nature loves to hide, but it is always there, waiting, offering stillness, perspective, and healing. The more time you spend in it, the less reactive you become, and the more human you feel. There is a reason your mornings can feel foggy, slow, or scattered, and it isn't just a lack of coffee. Often, it's because you're trying to run a high-performance machine on fumes. We focus on mindset and discipline, but forget that the brain is a physical organ. It doesn't run on thoughts alone. It runs on fuel, and the quality of that fuel matters. Too often, breakfast is sacrificed at the altar of speed. We skip it or grab something processed and sugary. That might provide a brief jolt, but it is soon followed by the crash, the fog, and the irritability. Your day begins to unravel not because you are weak, but because your body was never given what it needed to show up fully. The Stoics would call this self-negligence. Epictetus reminded us, "No man is free who is not master of himself." That mastery extends to how we care for our physical body. To start your day by honoring your body with real nourishment is an act of self-respect. From a practical standpoint, the science is clear. Your brain needs quality nutrients to function at its best. Protein to stabilize blood sugar, healthy fats to support focus, and real food that provides sustained energy. Think of eggs, avocado, oats, not pastries and energy drinks. When you choose whole, intentional food in the morning, you are sending a clear message to your mind. I came to perform today. Carl Jung understood this profound link between the physical and the psychological. He taught that the body is not a mere vessel, but a mirror of the psyche. In that reflection, we see how the treatment of our physical form shapes the quality of our thoughts, the steadiness of our emotions, and the clarity of our choices. This is not about guilt or perfection. It is about awareness. Would you expect a high-performing athlete to train without fuel or a surgeon to operate with a light head? Then why expect yourself to think clearly, act decisively, and stay grounded when your most basic needs go unmet? Some mornings, the hardest battle isn't getting out of bed. It's facing the voice inside your head, that quiet inner critic that whispers doubts, replays mistakes, and casts a shadow over your confidence before your feet even touch the floor. It is persistent, and if left unchallenged, it sets the emotional tone for your entire day. This is why affirmations are not just positive thinking. They are strategic counterattacks. When done with intention, they are verbal armor. You are not just speaking words. You are rewriting the internal script that has been running on autopilot. You are choosing thoughts that align with who you want to become, not who your fears say you are. Marcus Aurelius understood this deeply. As Emperor of Rome, he began his days not with external proclamations but with inner declarations. In his private writings, he reminded himself, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." He understood a fundamental truth: the thoughts we entertain, the words we repeat to ourselves. These are not passive observers. They are active agents that color our reality, shaping our behavior, our perception, and our identity. Affirmations are simply a tool for conscious coloring, saying, "I control how I respond," or "Today, I choose clarity over chaos," may feel strange at first, but your brain is always listening. Carl Jung emphasized the power of language, once writing, "Words are animals, alive with a will of their own." When you speak words of power and direction, you are not just making noise. You are calling something to life. You are speaking into yourself, reminding your subconscious who is in charge. This doesn't mean shouting into a mirror or reciting slogans that feel false. The key is sincerity. Choose words that resonate with a truth you are reaching for, even if they feel unfamiliar. Speak them with intention. Let them be like seeds, planted deliberately in the soil of your mind, not just phrases scattered to the wind. And when you speak them aloud. Do not leave them in the silence of your thoughts. There is power in sound, a vibration that gives belief its form. When your own voice articulates confidence or resolve or peace, it leaves less room for doubt to take root. Even if your voice trembles, even if the words feel foreign on your tongue, speak them anyway. You are not speaking for the person you are today. You are speaking for the person you are becoming. As Seneca taught us, we become brave by doing brave acts. The same is true of confidence. You do not first find confidence and then begin to speak. You speak with confidence, especially when it is difficult, and in that practice, you slowly become it. Affirmations are among the simplest, most direct ways to engage in this daily act of bravery. You do not need to control the entire day. You need only to own your morning, for how you begin is how you will live. Every small decision, every quiet moment of intent, echoes through the rest of your life. Strength, clarity, peace. They are not found. They are practiced. If this message has stirred something within you, another video awaits on the screen that will guide you deeper. I have a feeling it is exactly what you need to hear next. Thank you for being a part of Stoic Journal, where we do not chase perfection. We train for presence. Until next time, stay steady, stay grounded, and continue to walk the quiet path forward.